Wake up.
We're just using more of everything there is. The population will grow even more. Climate change.
The release of carbon dioxide is destroying the ecosystem.
Wake up.
Despierta. Ven a la semana de cine y debates en Misión Cero. Soluciones para una vida sostenible.
The world's top scientists agree that climate change is the
most serious threat to ever face our planet. It's coming faster and hitting harder than expected.
Droughts and floods and hurricanes are getting worse.
It's affecting our water supply
and our ability to grow crops.
America the Beautiful might not be so beautiful anymore.
Important ecosystems like the Amazon and the Arctic.
They'll be damaged forever. Really cool animals like polar bears
and walruses will lose their habitat.
We're pushing our planet past the point of no return.
But there is hope.
In December,
192 countries
will gather
at the UN Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen.
That's in Denmark.
They want to reach an agreement to protect the planet from the worst effects of climate change.
And keep the Earth's surface temperature from rising much further.
Scientists say that 2 degrees
just 2 degrees
is the threshold
for avoiding the most catastrophic consequences of climate change.
But the world must agree on ways to
cut greenhouse gas emissions
by at least 80% below 1990 levels
by the year 2050.
We need an agreement in Copenhagen
that will A.
help developing countries and fragile ecosystems cope with climate impacts.
B. Give every nation access to climate-friendly technology.
And C.
Save the world's forests, which help keep CO2 emissions out of the atmosphere.
The destruction of forests account for 20% of global emissions.
Copenhagen is the best chance we have to come together and help save the planet.
We must act quickly, with great courage and conviction. We have to be brave right now. The rest of the world is ready.
Germany,
Mexico,
Bangladesh,
Japan,
India, France,
Brazil,
and China. They want to find a way to save the planet
from devastating climate change.
So why would the United States stand in everybody else's way?
I don't know.
President Barack Obama, please.
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 We need you, President Obama,
to go to Copenhagen.
It's way here, Mr. President.
We need you to be there to help America be a leader.
A leader.
To find the answers. To save the polar bears,
the walruses, and the planet.
We are counting on you.
We're counting on you.
All of us.
My entire generation is counting on you.
Counting on you. Counting on you.
Do you think he knows how to get to Copenhagen?
This decade is very likely to be the warmest ever recorded.
The ice cap on Africa's Mount Kilimanjaro is melting.
A warming planet right before our very eyes. A huge chunk of ice has broken away from an ice shelf in Antarctica.
Take a good look at it, because it won't be there for long.
There we are, that gives you an idea.
Climate change doesn't rest.
2009 is likely to be the 5th warmest year on record.
Quite a bit of widespread flash flooding, triple-digit temperatures, the worst drought in half a century.
And neither will we. There is hope. Last year, in the single largest mass action in human history, hundreds of millions of people united to make a difference. During Earth Hour, people in more than 80 countries switched off their lights for 1 hour to send a powerful message that by working together, each of us can make a positive impact in the fight against climate change. In 4,100 cities around the world, people turned out for Earth Hour. They were joined by 80 million Americans and more than 300 U.S. cities. It didn't matter if your state was red or blue. From California to Georgia to Pennsylvania, Americans united to demand action on climate change. The media noticed.
we're going to talk about Earth Hour.
A global effort to raise awareness about climate change.
Earth Hour.
Turn them off for an hour.
For 1 hour.
1 hour.
Last night, more than 4,000 cities in 88 countries went dark.
And over an estimated 1 billion people turned off their lights.
World leaders noticed. The world united to make a difference. And now is the time for a major breakthrough on climate change. Now is the time to protect our future and to protect their future. Now is the time to make history. Visit earthhour.org because it's time. Time for Earth Hour. Turn off your lights March 27th, 2010, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m.
We have lost Arctic sea ice at a drastic rate over the last couple of years, especially in 2007. 2007 has seen only 40% of the summer sea ice compared to the long-term average. Here we see something like a canary in the coal mine. The Arctic is our indicator of climate change happening. And what concerns us most is that the canary is not only singing anymore, it is actually almost dead. Out of the Arctic, there can come feedback mechanisms. These are processes that are triggered by the warming in the Arctic that feed back and accelerate the global warming. They, so to say, increase the speed or increase the magnitude at which we will experience climate change. There are several mechanisms that come out of the Arctic that can provide this positive feedback, one of which we have already triggered. The Arctic has warmed at twice the global rate over the last 50 years. Half of that heat is actually produced in the Arctic itself, and this is already accelerating the global warming. We do see less snow cover and less ice cover, and the exposed darker lands and darker ocean water has accumulated that heat. So here we have an effect of change in the Arctic that accelerates the accumulation of heat in the global system and global warming itself.
The Arctic gives us the greatest wake-up call for the need for change. That change needs to occur at all levels. For the individual, it's about making choices how you live. For the corporation, it's about seizing the opportunities that we know already exist. For nations, it's about leadership. It's about showing that you can make these changes and that they are politically viable. The Arctic is changing, and the Arctic will continue to change for a long period of time as a result of the emissions that we've already put into the atmosphere. We have a very short period of time, 5 years, 10 years, in which to make not just the decisions, but implement the actions that are required. WWF has been working in the Arctic for a long time, for more than 15 years. When we started, it was a more traditional conservation program where we were looking at establishing conservation reserves, trying to prevent impacts. Now, the Arctic is a key climate change issue. So the work we do is global, in fact. We try to bring the message about what's happening in the Arctic to the world. We try to explain to people that the Arctic is the first sign of climate change. The impacts are already profound. People know about the polar bear, they know about the sea ice, and now we need to help them understand that they can change, they can make a difference, and we can protect the Arctic.